First game of the day, El Clasico, a return to G2 and for the week, which is also our winners match. If you look at this little thing as a tournament, of course it is just a piece of our regular season, but it's nice to put a little perspective on it. Everything up in the air. Fnatic currently 4-2, G2 3-2. Teams haven't played the same amount of series. We'll see who comes out on top. But Razork setting up for a first gank here. Mickey Q flash forward, looking to lock up LeBron. 1-2, stacks 3 and 4. That's the Q flash we were talking about. Champ select LeBron gonna get taken out here. One tower shot comes through. Razork stunned up. Good damage back. Nice response from Hansama. Can they pursue another kill? The dive won't be there for the side of Fnatic. Upset walking away. An intense battle on the bottom side, but a 1-for-1.
Great turnaround by the G2 bot lane. LeBron getting the head buff underneath the tower, setting up for the return kill. Cap's going to get flicked underneath tower, will take a tower shot, but definitely controlling this match against Humanoid as Hansama forced to pop the barrier for Skumon in the area, and there are no flashes on this bot lane.
Potentially a bit of sunk cost fallacy here for Fnatic. Have they overstayed their welcome? No information on where Skumon is. Bit of poke onto Upset. They need to get the hell out. LeBron hungry for a play. Nice little knockback. Mickey looking for the lockup. He's not even able to get to the back powder of the wall and flash over. He's stunned again. Dashes back to Upset. Still living for an extra moment. Skumon Q flash forward. Upset push back as well. And Fnatic's bottom lane. The initial gonna grab the grubs. Traded for the Drake. A classic bit of League of Legends.
You do need to TP down here as Broken Blade, but there's a lot of members of Fnatic now on the way.
Double TP. Full committal. Broken Blade, you came to the wrong part of town, buddy. The question is, can he live this? 4 stacks, stun, knocked back there, punted into the wall. All out is Oscar in it. He can't cancel that one anymore. They're walking away, and the tower's gonna finish the job. BB still manages to get one. And in the meantime, Cap's focusing down the mid lane tower. Fnatic just over-forcing.
How do you get a kill back in a 1v4? That should have been an easy shutdown for Fnatic, and it looked like Broken Blade was just going to be bopped all over the place, but instead they managed to get a kill. They're getting the plates mid, they're getting the waves top. Like, this is a pretty sizable pickup for Broken Blade and what should have been a disastrous moment for him.
And this is just the name of the game for G2. Fnatic, the ones consistently making these aggressive plays, trying to find the angle level 6 to level 6. LeBron here as well, Caps off to the side. They're in trouble now. Oscar has found the flank, but he doesn't have the ulti, trying to chase down Hansama. 1, and now 2, taken down. Mickey running, burning, ticking. Caps grabbing that one. Hans getting a kill as well. It just looks effortless. Again, Fnatic fumbled the first few plays, and now it's G2's turn, and they're not missing a beat.
They try to re-enter into their weak side of the map, and G2 punish Fnatic well. Now you still got Hansama that's able to push onto this top side. Skumon is stealing away camps from Razork in his own jungle as well, and it's just gone from bad to worse. Already a 2,000 gold lead opening up.
And this is not. This is very bad. This is bad for normal reasons, and it's also bad because you're playing against a comp with so much poke, with so much reach. You do not want to give them first setup. We know what Maokai looks like when he gets to ult, when you have to walk into him, and he looks broken as Oscar finding out first ban that there's not really a good way out of this one.
He doesn't have flash.
Nope, he's dead. Ooh, the minions extending that range. The footwork keeping him safe. Flash, Q, into the E, and auto to finish the job.
Yeah, this is not working out well. You can isolate someone to finish them off, but it's still going to be very difficult, especially
First you don't succeed, try again. Third play on the bottom side for Fnatic. Oscar, still Cassante. Could be very squishy when he goes all out. Pathmaker going to be the big cooldown. Waiting for a long time. He's going to get deleted before he can even use it. He just dies. Am I missing something? Does the W key not work?
Well, wasn't able to tap it, unfortunately, which means that then the all-out doesn't come through. Broken Blade now moving to the mid lane as well.
Upset still doesn't even have that Trinity Force. G2 gonna grab their first Drake of the game. Humanoid trying to make a play. Weaver's walled down. Hansama isolated. We'll get the ulti off. Flashing off to the side, and now it's Humanoid in trouble. Patience on the flash. Key from Hansama. Stepping up. The Dragon will fall. Just the 1 kill, but again.
Yeah, it is. Look, I respect it from Humanoid because that was kind of what we're saying. Like, Fnatic kind of need to make some sort of play like that.
Right. Flash. Flash and response, cleanse as well. Upset trying to get out. Flash. That's a lot of flashes. They're trying to save the day. Upset running, getting away, but he's going to burn down in the end. Razork now needs to get the hell out as well because there's a TP on the way in. But Lebrov, Skewmon going to back away.
Yeah, it's still not going well for Fnatic.
We infrequently see. And look, normally in this game, like, gold can be misleading, right? A lot of times it's really just about item completions, more often than not, and control on the map. But Fnatic are very far behind in terms of item completions. So even though you could maybe argue a little bit of difference here and there, hey, mid lane's
what if
not
we
too
dive
bad.
Broken Blade for the 3rd time?
The first you don't succeed, try again. Hansama one-shots Razork before the fight even starts. And there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, he's kind of getting hit on the splashback as well, because that is, like, his health bar is just immediately gone. Iceborne Gauntlet is nothing against the amount of damage that G2 have right now. There's the Rift Tower we were talking about. I think it was more of like a celebratory Rift Tower, because that tower was dead anyway. And win the ensuing fight so you can get the flowers. It's kind of the change with Atacon, is that, like, just stealing it never really feels
but here's the play. Humanoid trying to kick things off. Stopping the dashes, lockup is there, Mickey X blocking as much as he can, Oscar coming in trying to peel, but Caps and Broken Blade are off to the side. Eyes on the counter-strike, flash in, 3-man from Broken Blade, lockup from Razork is there, but they just don't have the damage at this point in the game. G2 simply too far ahead, 2-man flick, going in, upset, good damage from the ulti, all members of Fnatic standing, but with blinking health bars. G2 still in control of the river, setting their sights on Otacon.
I think it was the seismic shove from Humanoid that interrupted Lebrov there, and that may have just saved Fnatic, because he was about to get a headbutt pulverize to end all headbutt pulverizes, but G2 will just barely be out of reach, but they will still go down for the Atacon.
Take their time with it, don't lose anyone in the exchange, and they will get all the flowers. It's his job, but yeah, you see the start of the fight here. Fnatic trying to force this, looking for the angle.
And there's just no damage. Like, Humanoid flashes away from Lebrov so he doesn't get sent back into the team, but the actual DPS into Skewmon, into Broken Blade just isn't really a thing. But I want you to watch, as they finish off here, watch Lebrov. I think it, oh no, actually it looks like it was Oscar Rinnan's Q3 that ends up interrupting him. And it's just, that could have been game ending right there. The fact that Fnatic, hey, we fumbled the Baron yesterday, let's not do it again.
I mean, discipline, yeah, seems to be the name of the game, despite the goldie that they have. I think you're right, they could go for more aggressive plays. They see the Unbreakable gone, maybe that's a cue for them to go in, but respect to Humanoid's potential damage as he once again looks to set up a wall. That's the engage, kicking things off. Razork manages to find his target, but it's only the Ezreal ult to follow. Now the Vi deleted, the Maokai ult beautifully splits up the fight. All of Fnatic taken out. 3 members retreating now. Mid-jungle gone, and again, Fnatic try to find the proactive play, but G2 more than happy to just punish.
And G2 now moving over towards the Baron. Lebrov going to try and play up into this corner and see if he can catch Fnatic if they try and contest, but I think they know what side their bread is buttered on. They're just going to walk away.
Both sides, it would appear. That bread is covered in butter.
They have some extra in the fridge as well. They've got some for the popcorn.
It's not.
It's everywhere.
There's so much butter for G2. They're rolling in it. Lettuce, cheddar, butter. They've literally got all of it, Rob. Hansama is now level 16. And again, you see the fight, you see the vision.
But again, like, this is what we're talking about. As soon as the fight goes in, it's this just straight across the fight. That Maokai ultimate splits it up perfectly. You can't really follow up as Fnatic. And it buys that space for Caps, for Hansam in the backline, and just continue going forward. And this is why, like, when Vi started to become meta, we saw Maokai just be the de facto answer to her, is because you just press R at the same time and nobody can follow up on Vi.
Well, you can try, is what we've learned.
Yeah.
You can throw bodies, but it was not a quick path to success. And even Upset, struggling to do much in these fights. You can see he's playing Vampire Survivors. He needs his own little bullet hell, just trying to dodge all the random projectiles going at him while also dealing damage. G2, I mean, good discipline, good punishes in the early game. I think draft overall feels so much simpler to execute, but they did such a great job just punishing Fnatic on all 3 or 4 of those early plays and then making just better plays of their own.
Yeah, I think it's the, as you say, the rotations from G2, which has kind of been, for me, the most impressive part of their game.
Razork started the fight. Hansama finds an initial bit of lockdown. Double knockup onto Hans. Maybe finally they can get that kill in the midst of the fight. The shutdown is there. Hans taking the equation. Caps completely untouched on the side, and now it's Mickey who will fall. Oscar in it. Q3 ready to go. Manages to click Caps. Maybe enough damage as he finally goes all out, dashing through Caps. Ready to go back in. Q3 gonna go, but the something just doesn't have the damage. Broken Blade still standing. Flashes forward, but will not get the stun. Humanoid retreating. Fnatic. Not a great fight, but they're not out of it yet.
You're gonna have the TP coming back in from both solar laners on G2 though. Caps moving down to the tri-bush on the bottom side. G2 looks like they want to try and commit for more here.
Zoned away by the TP of Caps, or Broken Blade, excuse me. Looking for the flick and will not find it. That'll be Soul to the side of G2. Finally, we see what Fnatic were looking for there. Combo, layered ultimates. Hansama deleted instantly, but in the ensuing fight, they just don't have the damage to get things done.
Yeah, the game has just slipped away too far. A good attempt from Fnatic, but now Soul for G2 makes it a little bit more difficult to try and lock down people like Caps or even Skewmond, who can now chase you down relentlessly after popping that ultimate. So Fnatic, they kind of need to find that plus more, and at this stage, they're starting to lose control of their own jungle.
That they are. I mean, they were already starting to lose control of their own jungle.
Yeah.
They've lost control of most things, but grouping, force. I mean, the problem is this play is good. It's just 15 minutes too late. 5,000 gold too late.
Yeah, and I think it's like, as you say, they immediately get on towards Hansama, but crucially, like, Upset is actually able to follow up on the damage there. Just get rooted on the back line as a result, but Caps managing to go in. Goes a little bit too far, I will say, but Oscarina just doesn't quite have the damage, especially as the to the skies, and then the form swap to get that empowered auto attack just to finish off Oscarina. And Broken Blade doing a good job of keeping Upset and Humanoid away from Caps as he was that low.
Also ults him out of the flick back from Humanoid. And if he just had another half an item, if he wasn't quite so far behind, probably would have been able to finish that kill onto Caps. The Kasante burst damage and all out is still incredible. Wall used to clear at least this way, but the tower still falls. G2 continuing to walk up. And again, I think that the threat of 2 towers is really the only thing that's stopping G2 from just ending the game here. 10 kill death here or there. Again, not a perfect game, but it feels almost as oppressive as a perfect game. The 4 kills and 2 towers, the little bits and bobs Fnatic have gotten back just feel meaningless in the face of the lead that G2 have amassed. Razork on the flank, but I think every single member on this lineup just too powerful. The fight will start anyway. Broken Blade zoning off. Now looks like he might just get locked up. Tower down. Humanoid coming in off to the side, but they just instantly turn their attention back. Caps good damage. LeBron there as well. Finds the stun. Flick back. Razork now down. Hansama still standing. All the health bars remaining on the side of Fnatic are blinking, and they're about to be deleted. Oscarina goes all out, but he's all out of options. He's all out of base. He's all out of teammates. And G2 gonna make quick work of this game 1.
32 minutes. But it was a domination from minute 2 for G2 as they look towards taking the Nexus turrets.
It was a slaughter. Fnatic thought they had some angles on some early plays. They fumbled it. And at that moment, G2 never gave them away back into the game. Dominance from G2 in game 1. Even as they take their time on the fountain time. What a way to kick things off.
Very impressive stuff from G2. Again, like, great rotations on the map. Broken Blade outplaying completely on the dives and just setting themselves up entirely to run that game.
That they did. Good looks overall. You can still see high fives from Fnatic boys.
Personally tend more towards like a Rise, where it's like the point and click CC, which is just guaranteed to set up the Neferi. But you don't have that here, so trying to play through mid to look for early kills is going to be pretty tough. I do think the best version of this right now with the... Oh, hang on.
Flash forward. Upset cleanse. Might be forced to flash as well. It's going to be okay. So aggressive level 1.
And Skewmond. So in this position, even if G2 aren't winning out massively in the play, they're still winning because they're nullifying what Razor.
Crash down. Heal came out there for extra movement speed. I think they have kill pressure on Hansama. Barrier forced. Oscarina already used the Mistone. He might just get cut down. First blood. Easy pickup. Mickey now running. There's nowhere he can go. He can flash. Sends back the bars, but Hans flashes over it. Quick double kill. And I don't think we're getting to game 3, folks. It's falling apart fast. Razor trying to make the difference on the bottom side, but the rest of G2 has already backed away. They know they're on the weak side. They're not risking anything.
I could have seen it, but like, this is really weird. Mickey out of position. You don't really get much. Like, yeah, you get some damage onto Hansama, but I don't even think that Tango bar's really hit. Like, Hansama's got barrier still. Like, there's very little that you can do here.
Perhaps miscommunication around barrier being up. if we want to give them the benefit of the doubt, or more optimism about what abilities were and weren't going to land. But the second that missed,
if they're not getting this massive gold lead like we saw in the last game.
I think one thing that will be different in this game, however, is that even if G2 get a lead, they won't quietly win. They got a lot of dive threat. It's going to be very explosive as Oscar tries to find the all-in, forces the flash out of Broken Blade, one more skip and slash. Not going to come out. But we do see that as time goes on, Oscar will be a bigger and bigger threat. Oh, I feel in my bones he's going to go for a dive.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the damage.
I don't think
though.
he should, but I feel it in my bones.
because taunt as well, giving you magic resist. Ooh, okay, that's
he's fancy with it. Split fight, meanwhile, bottom side, Razor calling out the extra dogs, Baja Men reporting. That's the kill! I felt it in my bones! I didn't think it was going to work, but apparently it will. Now Caps is moving in, but Gwen, what's the timer remaining on the mist? Flash forward from Caps. Grasping, has the mist, walks away. These are the kind of plays that Fnatic need. Upset with the 4-shot, though, has now been pulled back. Stumond ready to get things kicked off. That's the ulti going in for Razor. Intangible for a brief moment as he manages to step backwards. Zinzao out fading. 4-shot there for Upset. Big damage onto Skumond. Humanoid from behind. They surely stick around for this one. Razork ready.
Curtain calls ready.
Dashing forward. One finding the bleed. Second dagger connecting. Lebrov in trouble. Razork getting the kill. Upset not going to get anything but 2 over to the board, though respects it anyway. Now turning back with the ulti. Oscar decent damage. Lebrov now in trouble. TP on the way in. Skumont here as well. That's the miss taken out. Mickey running forward. Be able to get anything. That's the ult to flash forward. Manages to lock him too. Humanoid on the way and he's going to slide his way in. Doesn't even need the ulti. Rest of the team watching them go down, but there it is. Shuffled out, but caught under tower. But still, he'll manage to live. Fnatic on the top side, dominating. And now the dogs all out of the bottom, chasing down a juicy looking chicken, but he's gonna fly to safety. And no chickens can do that.
It's kind of lucky for Razork. You know, chicken bone's not great for dogs, but either way, Fnatic, that was fantastic. So pulling up to the top side of the map, Oscar in. So though I think for Fnatic, they're in a fine spot, as you're saying. You play off of Upset being able to push mid. Hasn't gone for the static build, which is okay.
All right, quick catch onto Oscar, pull back on the ulti. He's going to flash out. Hansama attempted to follow, push back on the bottom side as Humanoid getting aggressive onto Broken Blade, who will TP out, knowing that he does not win that particular fight, but also knowing that Humanoid just burned his one and only piece of hard CC, his only tool to interrupt that TP. Herald now using the bottom side. Pace of the game accelerating pretty rapidly. Fnatic, yes, they did not get the kill on the top side, but they're pushing in that wave, and they might be able to force that tower down, but Fnatic are still so far ahead.
That's why I like the play from Fnatic. Like, oh, actually, TP now top side. That might have been a mistake Oscar did.
Oscar uses the miss. This time he's not quite so fortunate. He doesn't have a TP. Upset is on the way in. Mickey's here as well, but that tower is...
They don't have a way to contest sides. Oscar Rinen's just too big at the moment. And even when you look at Humanoid as well, like level 15, halfway to level 16, you can't send someone solo to deal with him. And that's where we're talking about this like trio of Lebrov, Hansama, and Skumond. But now they're going to spot the Fnatic have just taken coming,
but they can spot. Ooh, they see Skumond, know he's too far away. That Voracious Otacon picked up. Oscar versus Caps. Massive slow onto Oscar, and it's Skumond now trying to follow. Oscar trying to heal as much as he can, but Caps has been rooted in the meantime. And in goes the dog. Caps, quick fear to try to survive, but Razork is ready to follow up. Everything they can do from LeBron, everything coming out, but it's just not enough to stop the pick. The reset's going in. Broken Blade finally here, but it might not matter because Mickey, the perfect follow through, the 3-man. And all of Fnatic watches G2 fall to pieces. The triple for Upset. Looking to make it a quadra, but Broken Blade manages to walk away.
Fnatic were mauled by the dog until they went up. Fnatic find everyone there. And now they will march towards this inhibitor.
No hair of the dog to save this one. Fnatic probably break open the base here as well. And that little ward recalling did manage to hit quite an impressive 3-man ult. And we mentioned it with this composition, the power that they have to dive. G2 don't have, it's not the Maokai Varus. They can't absorb the initial engage in the same way, much harder. The desk critical of the use of Maokai. And it's certainly a champion. And I mean, with two compositions that are both happy to dive, it's kind of whoever goes for it first, right? Broken Blade wasn't in that fight at all. G2 immediately, once Fnatic start to play, are so split that they can't find their footing.
It's also the intargetability on Razork means he's able to play deep, but doesn't get caught out now.
First shot going in. Taunt still channeled, interrupting Razork for a brief moment, but now dead. Reset on the ulti is there. Razork not going to risk it this time around. Knows that Baron is his prize, rightfully earned. Fnatic 10K up, 26 minutes. Might not be able to make up for game one, but they can try to outpace G2 in their win at the very least.
Well, trying to see if they can get on towards Caps here. Does end up just skirting away from that one. Dragon is available. Oscar in him.
Rob, nice initial engage. Oscar in caught out by Hansama. Hansama starting to hurt, but Mickey once again managing to find the 3-man. Goes golden, courtesy of the Seekers. In the blink of an eye, Hansama gone. Now Caps on his lonesome. Broken Blade cannot peel. He just tries to justice punch himself back. Fnatic just keep running them down. Razork intangible, dashes over the wall, makes it look easy. The Dogs now moving in. Black Cleaver fully stacked. Caps, the only person in Disperk set to finish the kill, but forced backwards. The Grasping Maw, the passive, but no. Goes untargetable, and Fnatic upset dominating. Fnatic dominating. Looks like they'll just close it out here.
I was gonna say it's over. Fnatic, they just find pick after pick. Hansama performed a magic trick, and it's his Nexus that disappears.
And here we go, game 3. Wouldn't have it any other way. A classic LEC matchup going the distance as Fnatic fire back. Firing back doesn't feel like enough to describe how dominant that game was. Here for Hansama down as well. What is his focus going to be? Hans, wrap around here. Will spot Mickey, but perhaps too late. Oh, it's a perfect predict! He's living in his head! He doesn't even pay rent! Oh my God!
Mickey, that was sick! I mean, look! He played with Hansama for a good old while. He knows this man inside and out and just showed it right there.
We were too focused on math. We didn't think enough about reading proficiency, my man.
It's the psychology of the situation.
Psychology. That was an incredible start to the game. Excellent read from Mickey X, bringing life back into the audience as we have a rinse and repeat here in the mid lane. Caps, nice body slam actually gets him out. Slow coming in from the cast, but Razork happy to pick up the follow-up kill. And a disastrous start for G2.
I was surprised that Caps went in with the body slam. Like, Skumon maybe could have flashed over, but it looked like there wasn't communication there. Razork now in trouble, though.
Razork caught out, doesn't have the Aegis Assault still for another second. Ignite ticking. Lebrov still has that after the previous play. Aegis Assault there, it's too late. Nice response kill from G2.
Nice roam from Lebrov. Wasn't really needed in bot lane. His Hansama was out.
And Skumon, while Zyro was the early prio and does have the kill, we haven't seen it do too much yet. Upset locked up, but Pantheon is here. Hansama finding out quickly where that spear can go. Lebrov running now for his life. The plant's not enough to dissuade the play here. And again, a situation where Fnatic finding the angles to make these ones happen. Humanoid on the way in, just manages to find a little bit more damage as Mickey claims the kill.
The Ignite managing to tick over there and pick off Lebrov, but that's a little bit upsetting. If you're G2, you thought you were going to be able to turn that play around. They were kind of baiting Fnatic in, but didn't realize that Razork had level 6 and was already in the vicinity. Good turnaround from Fnatic.
Definitely was. Momentum continues to be in their favor. Broken Blade now trying to fire back, however. Q3, Otto doesn't quite have the Deathbringer stance back, so can't finish the kill. Frustrating for BB now. Flashless, and Razork is here. Decimating Smash. Broken Blade, no ulti, no flash.
So much healing off the pot and the biscuits, though. It feels a bit doomed.
Unstoppable. Q charge, but will not connect. Razork there. Yeah, Broken Blade should just fall here. One more auto. Razork has flash as well. BB will try to get a kill back. Nice Umbral dash. Glides out, hits the Q3. Mickey's here as well. Fnatic feel like they're everywhere on the map. Mickey almost gets another one, but this time gives it over to Razork. And while Hansama is free hitting the bottom tower, Fnatic are getting kill after kill after kill, but now they want to make a play happen in the mid lane. LeBron looking for the fall. Humanoid flashing out. The Zenith Blade just can't hit. It hits his big old tail, but it's technically not a part of the hitbox.
No hitbox and no luck for G2. Mickey now standing in the mid lane to make sure that it'll all go smoothly now for Humanoid. G2 feel like they just can't get anything, although with Skumon coming, maybe they can.
Star called down. Mickey interrupting. Mickey very likely to die here. Looking for the hook out to safety, but everyone's stepping up to body block. Pull back there. Damage coming through. Mickey will fall. Good response from G2 to at least get something back.
And desperately needed it. See, if I hadn't seen a pick blind,
yeah,
I'd be like jumping into the, oh my god, it's this and this matchup in these positions. But now they're in a bad position.
Bob finds quick pick, forces the flash out from Mickey at the very least. Razor caught up, forced to use an early Aegis Assault, which means he's incredibly vulnerable. Ulti now coming from Mickey off to the side. They're trying to burn through Schemon as fast as they can. Hansama versus Upset. In the meantime, LeBron running for the hills. He cannot finish off, but Cap's already found Razor. Body slam into the face of a dragon. He does not give a damn. The star's falling though. Oh, and he's spitting on fire. He's winning the freestyle battle. Humanoid double kill.
Humanoid got left to his lonesome on the top side against LeBron.
Clears the wave so well that BB can't really mitigate the gold deficit that they're in.
I will say, the last time BB played Aatrox into Sion went pretty well. This time needs to go better.
World Ender, sidestep, Q through, decimating smash is there. There's just nowhere for him to go. Healing?
Heal!
Okay, not enough.
Heal!
Sundered Sky, that might have been a different story.
Toe to toe. Oh, hang on.
Mickey, backstep, Humanoid winning over the wall, but surely the Nautilus just dies here. One kill picked up, knockup going to follow as well to stop Humanoid from chasing. The TP is there from Oscar.
And Upset's on the way.
A little bit too late. Body slam onto Upset. Slow there. Perfectly layered CC. The fall damage not quite there, though. He retreats back into his team. Cass knocking Upset back into the combo. That's what they were looking for, but they don't have the damage to finish it. Lebrov running Hansama without an ult. And down goes Lebrov.
G2 constantly trying to force these plays.
Not done. Caps running. The sky's descending. Nature itself stacked against
the burn.
it.
Blackfire Torch?
Blackfire. There's no way Blackfire Torch.
No. I got excited.
Have it. Caps.
Shiz will inevitably go our way. This is going to be fantastic, but they have just not been in position all at once to try and follow up. So they get the initial play here on towards Mickey, which is really nice, but they end up using a huge of it, like the Zyra ult and the Leona ult to make that play happen. And then as Fnatic come into this, which is still a 3v3, you don't really have the lockup that you need for Upset. It's a good cleanse immediately onto the lockdown from Zyra as well. But then they're just able to follow up, and this is why Sion is so strong. Like that beefy front line that just brings G2 in towards the mid lane and actually starting to roam down towards bot. So I don't think G2 have given up on this tower yet.
Broken Blade continuing to step up. Infernal Chains won't quite match. Caps taking down the tower. Broken Blade healing. Flash forward for Magic to get out of the solar flare. Aegis Assault there just in time. Q pulled back. Razor getting lower though. Ticking. Ignited. Still trying to find healing. He's got a Sundered Sky of his own and now he's scooting his boot out of there. Does not want anything to do with that fight. Will fall here in a moment. Gets a bit of healing back in the meantime. Shut down to Skewmon. Scrappy fight in the bottom lane. But Humanoid still just pushing away.
I never thought that Razor was going to kill BB on the back of that fight. I assumed that was going to be the kill, and you could even see Caps thinking the same thing as he threw that ult in to try and finish off and pull Oscar in and back out from underneath the tower. But G2 fishing.
Broken Blade potentially caught out here. Brilliant Soul.
Riley's finished.
Call. Rylai's is there. Additional slow going in. Flash forward from BB though. He wants to turn this back. Flash out from Humanoid in the meantime. Stranglethorns are there. Decent damage onto Broken Blade, but he's fine thus far. Powered spear shot. Not going to hit. In the meantime, Hansama's running for his life because he's caught in a 1v1 with a very angry Lumberjack who's going to hit the Q3. Lebrov is here too, but he's unstoppable. I don't even know if Locket's going to be enough. They call the power of the sun down upon him. But he's Hugh Jackman out there in the wilderness.
He's a Lumberjack. He's used to being in the sun.
This is what Monty Python wrote the song about. He's okay. He works all night, he sleeps all day, walks out of ganks, eats his lunch. I've never been impressed by a Sion, but it does feel very impactful here. That said, he cannot fight 3 people in a horde of Void Might, so he will give up control of this Herald, a nice way to try to get things back in their control, as Caps now looking for an angle about side. Body slam, flash, laying down the cast. Good damage and a shutdown.
There's those higher levels as well where that's going to hurt, but they're trying to focus him now.
For the angle. Oh, Mickey spots him. The rest of the team is behind him though, so G2 don't want to overcommit, which makes sense. Skewmon on the way though. Mickey may be forced to flash out of the pit. Humanoid here as well. Body slam. Nice sidestep going in. Slow down. Knock back to the wall on the Humanoid, but it just doesn't matter. Cap's now locked up in the meantime. Humanoid throwing down an ulti of his. The skies once again descending. Lebrov taking out Fnatic, routing G2 in that instance, but Humanoid wants to keep chasing. This is a bit crazy, but Humanoid is nothing if not crazy. Hansama flashes in, ultis to get a kill back. Cap still standing, Skewmon running, Razor not taking any damage, courtesy of the Aegis Assault. Caps tries to make it the impossible possible, but it does not happen. Big anti-synergy with these ults. It's a lazy point, you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I think, but it does matter. If you're drafting a comp, it's all about putting people in a very tiny circle. You don't want a champ who's going to make that worse, is now. Sion just keeps running, but he will not find the connection. Still the ulti going in from Humanoid, an extra 15 stack. Strangle Thorns down, double knockup. Carries rooted. Razork trying to jump back in, stop Broken Blade from getting on his backline, and he will be successful. 1 for 1, 2 for 1 overall in favor of Fnatic as Humanoid drops the cost of BB and LeBron's.
And then we can continue on, and you'll see it in this fight as this is Mickey going in. Does end up a little bit too far, but you've already got the setup from Humanoid to just try and separate out LeBron. It goes in onto the back line. Oscar and Mitch's, but he's just pulling Skewmon back. He's pulling Caps can't really follow up as either. And then it's just deal with the front line as you start to walk through.
And even Broken Blade, right? Pretty powerful in the context of this game, despite 0-4-2 being his scoreline. It doesn't matter because the rest of his team just can't get involved in the fight. So hard for G2 to play this out. The zone control from the Sion, like you mentioned. The Nautilus. The stars coming down from Humanoid. Tricky one to play out. Herald summoned. Slowed up by the Aurelion Soul. And now the call is collapse onto Broken Blade, but who's getting collapsed on? First just the tower charge. Fnatic retreating again. 8 seconds. Tell Chemsoul. G2 trying to treat tempo in the mid lane. Get one wave pushed in, mid lane will be relatively even. Bot wave pushing in Fnatic's favor. Broken Blade doesn't really have anywhere to go. Needs the rest of the team to be ready if Fnatic overcommit on the flank. Soul point in the eyes of Fnatic, but they want the kills first. They don't want to flip it. Skewmon still standing. No flash for LeBron, no flash for Hansama. Crucially, Humanoid still has his. Set also flashless. If there was a time for G2 to find the combo, the time is now. Broken Blade, again on the flank. Eyes on Caps. G2 have a bit of time before they pull the trigger. When will they go? They spot Broken Blade. Retreat now going in. They want to collapse on the flanker. All of Fnatic turning back. G2 trying to prioritize, trying to move in. Work with the space gained here. Bit of damage down onto Oscar. Ulti down for the Leona. TP coming in as well. Broken Blade regrouping for the full 5v5. Mickey manages to find the hook onto Caps. Knockup going into Hansama and onto Broken Blade. The damage is there, but Hansama is firing back. The Strangle Thorns combined with the MF Bolt. Is it going to be enough? Ulti back from Humanoid. Breathing line into G2. Fnatic holding on. Gatling gun. Pushing in, looking for a few more rockets. Dashes into the midst of the fight, but might just give his life. Hansama taking out. He can't get the auto down. Skewmon burned by the Leandries, by the Black Fire, and the Dragon will go to Fnatic.
Oscar, I don't think you win this against Broken Blade. BB should be able to chop him down as he stands, although the rest of Fnatic, here comes the ultimate from Razork.
He doesn't have time to win it, and that's the problem, but he tries to style. It's just not enough. Humanoid puts him under the threshold. The black hole does the rest.
And it's a very split out fight, but Mickey landing the hook here onto Caps. Caps flashes forward to try and make something happen, but at the bullet time, shreds through Fnatic. But again, Oscar stays standing and gives the front line with this beautiful ultimate from Humanoid, hitting onto everyone left standing on G2. And at that stage, it's Fnatic running through everyone that they can to finish off anyone left standing.
I mean, Skewmon connected on the roots, on the way out, on the ulti. It just wasn't enough. Fnatic too powerful at this point of the game, now empowered by a Chemtech Soul. Razork was already feeling unkillable with just a Sundered Sky. It's not getting any easier.
And this is the thing, a lot of the champions that we look at on G2 side are Skewmon wants to be played into. Caps honestly kind of wants to be played into as well, so we can split up the fight, and even to a certain extent Hansama with the ultimate, but Fnatic constantly spreading out into multiple different areas of attack. Being able to have Humanoid attack from a very, very far range, especially now with the level 16 just being ticked over to, that ultimate is going to hurt. And G2 just can't really set up the fight in the manner that they want to.
No, they can't. So instead, they'll try to force something in the mid lane. Nice combo going in. Cast to knock back. Stun is there. Humanoid knows that he's been taken down. Excellent pick from G2 mid lane as Caps takes that one.
The bases get tatters though. Fnatic, they don't really care. They're just going to keep going. A reset from Razork though means that these three members of Fnatic
stepping behind. Still kept the Banshees. A little bit of extra damage. And you can see, even as they're retreating, the poke that they're laying down is so much to deal with. TP there. G2, if they can win this fight, they've got a chance to come back to this game. Caps, body slam forward, lays down the cast, give a little bit of extra slow. Razork face first into the enemy team, trying to buy space for the rest of the lineup. Running now, knows that he's done for. Turns back onto Hansama though, bit of extra healing coming in. Not enough to keep him standing though. Aegis Assault won't come up in time. Shut down onto Razork. G2 weathering the storm of the Baron by being aggressive.
They will get 2 picks, but that top inhibitor falls down. I thought to make a
very rough early game, a very rough lane phase for a pick like this Gragas.
Yeah. And a loss here will put them at 3-3, sitting base in the middle of the pack with BDS, Movistar, Koi. You still yet to play Heretics in there as well, playing tomorrow. Not exactly where G2 would have liked to have been. Well, a little over the halfway mark through spring.
And if we had just come off a split that they won, like they had every single split in 2024, we would give them that benefit of the doubt. So now you start to raise the question that's rarely raised with how dominant G2 has been as an organization. Do they still have it? Do they still have what it takes to be number one when the pressure is on? This is just a single best of 3, but it's a question we'll come back to as the split progresses.
Whereas for Fnatic, I mean, game 1, little ropey, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
but 2 and 3?
2 and 3
have been good.
Yeah.
Like, this has been clean. It has been good skirmishing. It has been reacting quicker than G2, being in the positions that you need to, and it has really put upset as well, giving him some of that armor pen. And even though you don't have anyone that's particularly tanky on the side of G2, it still is going to help with just that the armor you get naturally through those levels. Fnatic hurt and hit like a truck, and G2 need to find some way to keep them at bay.
That they do. 17 seconds till the Elder. That's as good a time as any to not remember how the graphics tablet works. Never mind. We'll hold that thought. Game going in. Mickey finding the engage. Humanoid ready to respond. Hasn't ulted quite yet. Perfect catch in the middle of the lane. G2's bot lane gone in the blink of an eye. Skewmon next. Caps and BB. All that stands between Fnatic and victory.
And I don't, like, Fnatic oh wait, TP behind?
TP behind.
Caps, he wanted the
Caps
wave.
clearing
trying to
the
put
wave.
the wave.
Alting, knocking back, decent damage onto Upset, but he's just not taking it, but he manages to live. Is that enough time? 34 seconds, 29 seconds, there's no way. Surely Fnatic still end it.
Oscar can just tank it. Look at his items. He's not, like, he's probably going to heal off of this tower, to be perfectly honest. They don't need the wave. They've got an undead war machine at the front.
5 seconds to LeBron. Ulti there. Fnatic on the march to victory. They couldn't find it day 1, but it looks like they will find it against G2. Broken Blade and LeBron, the last 2 left standing, but Broken Blade will fall. LeBron will fall. Hanzama is finally arrived, but it's just too late. A triple kill for the Pantheon. It looks like they want to feed him the Quadra, maybe even the Penta, but Upset won't let it happen. Fnatic in Madrid take down G2. And what do we have left to say? An incredible moment. Let's 10 things down to Shocks.
Monumental victory for Fnatic.